Okay, ready to swap those stress headaches for some serious relaxation vibes. Because today, we're taking a deep dive into wellness, Brescia style. We're heading to Italy, virtually, of course.
Virtually, but it sounds like a pretty enticing destination from a wellness perspective.
Right. And, we love to dig a little deeper than your average travel blog, so we're checking out Body Mind Center, this wellness center that's piqued our interest.
And what's really caught my eye just browsing through their website is their approach. They seem very invested in this holistic blend of Eastern and Western practices, which you don't see every day, especially not in a city like Brescia, so steeped in traditional Italian culture.
It's like they've taken that rich cultural history and woven in these incredibly diverse practices. I mean, they've got your classic yoga and Tai Chi, which, don't get me wrong, I love. But then they also offer things like, you ready for this? Jin Shin Do.
Jinshin Do. Now, that's not something you hear every
I
day.
know, right? I had to look it up. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it's a gentle, hands-on practice that uses touch to harmonize the body's energy and promote healing. And the fact that it's being offered in Italy, of all places, speaks to Body Mind Center's dedication to diverse healing modalities.
That's fascinating. I'm definitely adding that to my must-explore list.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of things I need to explore, they also mentioned Anukulana Yoga on their website. What's the story there? So it's kind of intriguing.
Anukulana Yoga is all about fluidity and finding your own personal expression within the practice. Instead of rigid poses, it encourages you to listen to your body and move in a way that feels natural and intuitive.
Okay, that makes so much sense. I can see how that would be really appealing, especially if you're someone who thrives on moving in a way that feels good for you rather than trying to force yourself into a certain shape.
Exactly. It's about honoring your own unique rhythm and flow.
Which, let's be honest, is probably a good philosophy for life in general.
Couldn't agree more.
Now, I do want to point out that Body Mind Center isn't just about offering these practices. They're also big on education. They have full-on training programs in shiatsu, massage, reflexology. They've even got online hypnosis training. Who knew Brescia was such a wellness hub?
Their dedication to education is commendable, and it speaks to that desire so many of us have these days to not just experience well-being, but to really understand it, to delve into the why behind the practices, right?
Yes. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge, not just seeking a quick fix. And honestly, that's something we advocate for a lot on this show, right?
Yeah,
We don't just want to scratch the surface. We want to dive deep.
absolutely. And Body Mind Center seems to echo that sentiment, which is really interesting to see.
It's like they've created this space where ancient wisdom meets modern needs. I mean, offering online hypnosis training, that's not something you come across every day, especially from a center that seems so grounded in these ancient traditions. What are your thoughts on that?
It speaks to their adaptability and understanding of modern life, I think. Online learning has made so many practices more accessible, and it's really interesting to see Body Mind Center embracing that. And, hypnosis in particular is having a bit of a moment these days.
It really is. It seems like more and more people are realizing it's not just some parlor trick. It can be a genuinely helpful tool for a wide range of issues.
Exactly. It's not about swinging a pocket watch and making you cluck like a chicken. It's about tapping into the power of the subconscious mind to create positive change.
Okay, no hypno chicken here.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's great that they're making these kinds of tools and techniques more accessible. It feels very in line with this larger shift we're seeing in how people are approaching health and wellness, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's not just about the absence of disease anymore. It's about actively cultivating well-being in all areas of life.
It's about understanding that we're complex beings, and our well-being is a reflection of so many interconnected factors.
Precisely. And Body Mind Center seems to grasp that very well.
They really do.
Yeah.
And they seem to have curated this amazing array of practices and approaches that speak to that multifaceted nature of well-being. So they really seem to get that well-being is about more than just, not being sick. It's about looking at the whole picture, right?
Absolutely. And that's where their integration of Eastern and Western approaches becomes particularly fascinating. Imagine taking the ancient wisdom of traditional Chinese medicine with its focus on energy flow and balance and weaving it together with the Western emphasis on anatomy and physiology.
It's like they're bridging the gap between those two worlds, creating this beautiful tapestry of ancient wisdom and modern science.
Precisely. And, when you think about it, that philosophy of balance and interconnectedness is also deeply ingrained in Italian culture itself. The focus on fresh food, spending time with loved ones, appreciating beauty in everyday life.
It's true.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of what makes their approach so unique. It's like they've taken inspiration from the very environment they're in.
It's an intriguing thought, isn't it, that the environment itself can influence our approach to well-being. And speaking of influence, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on something Body Mind Center emphasizes on their website: education.
Oh, yeah. They don't just offer these practices, they have full-on training programs. Shiatsu, massage, reflexology. They even have online hypnosis training, which I have to say kind of blew my mind a little.
It speaks to their understanding of modern needs and the desire for deeper knowledge. People want to know the why behind these practices, not just experience them passively.
It's about empowerment, right? Like giving people the tools to understand their own well-being and take an active role in shaping it.
Exactly. And I think that's a really important distinction to make. It's not about providing a quick fix. It's about equipping individuals with the knowledge and skills to navigate their own well-being journey.
It's like we always say, knowledge is power. And speaking of power, what are your thoughts on them offering online hypnosis training? It's not exactly something you'd expect from a center that feels so rooted in tradition.
Right. It's a fascinating juxtaposition, but it also speaks to their adaptability and willingness to evolve. They're not stuck in the past. They're embracing new ways to make these ancient practices accessible to a wider audience, which I have to say, I really admire.
Me too. It's like they're honoring the roots of these traditions while also recognizing that the world is changing, and our approach to well-being needs to change with it. And, hypnosis in particular seems to be having a bit of a resurgence lately.
It really does. And I think it's because people are starting to understand that it's not just some mystical or esoteric practice. It's a powerful tool for tapping into the subconscious mind and creating positive change.
Okay, but no hypno chickens here.
Definitely no hypno chickens. But in all seriousness, it's great that Body Mind Center is making these tools and techniques more accessible.
Agreed. It aligns perfectly with this larger movement we're seeing towards a more holistic approach to wellness.
One that acknowledges the mind-body connection and empowers individuals to take an active role in their own healing journey. And that reminds me of something Body Mind Center highlighted on their website: their diverse team of practitioners.
Oh, yeah. They mentioned that. It's like they brought together this incredible group of people with expertise in all different areas.
Exactly. It's like they've created this amazing melting pot of knowledge and experience, which I think is so valuable.
It really is. Because well-being isn't one size fits all, right? What works for one person might not work for another.
And that's something Body Mind Center seems to understand intuitively. They're not afraid to draw from a variety of sources and offer a diverse range of approaches to meet individual needs. It's quite impressive, really.
It makes you wonder, what other hidden gems are out there, right? What other communities around the world are blending ancient traditions with modern insights to create these incredibly unique havens for well-being? It's like Body Mind Center has opened a door to a whole new world of possibilities. But you know what? I think we need to take a moment to process all this awesomeness. Okay, so we're back. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling incredibly inspired by this deep dive into Body Mind Center. It's like they've created this incredible blueprint for holistic well-being, blending ancient wisdom with modern insights.
They really have. And I think what resonates most with me is their emphasis on empowering the individual. It's not about dictating a specific path to well-being. It's about providing options, knowledge, and support so people can find what works best for them.
It's like they're saying, hey, we're here to guide you, but ultimately, you're the expert on your own well-being.
Exactly. And that's such a powerful message. It takes the pressure off needing to have all the answers and encourages a sense of curiosity and exploration.
And that's what we're all about here, right? Exploring different facets of well-being, diving deep into these practices and philosophies, and hopefully inspiring our listeners to do the same.
Absolutely. And even if someone listening isn't planning a trip to Italy anytime soon, they can still take inspiration from Body Mind Center's approach.
100%. It's about being open to trying new things, being curious about different traditions, and recognizing that the journey of well-being is ongoing.
It's a lifelong adventure, and one that's constantly evolving as we learn and grow.
So well said. It's not about reaching some ultimate destination. It's about savoring the journey, embracing the ups and downs, and continually seeking out new ways to nourish our minds, bodies, and spirits.
And on that note, perhaps it's time to wrap up our virtual trip to Brescia. But let's carry with us the spirit of Body Mind Center, the open-mindedness, the curiosity, and the commitment to holistic well-being.
Beautifully said. And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into wellness Brescia style. We hope it sparks some inspiration for your own unique well-being journey.